Hello everybody, dear English-speaking followers, astrology lovers, friends and clients. Here is Olga Vasilchuk from very sunny Costa Rica, and I would like to present you today the astrological review of 2 weeks of May, from the new moon in Taurus of May 15 until the full moon in Sagittarius of May 28. I would like to start with 2 announcements. First of all, I reviewed the format of my videos, and starting from now, from this video, I will share with you 2 videos per month. I will present you the analysis of planetary transits every second week. The first video will cover the 2 first weeks of the lunar month, from the new moon until the full moon, and the second video of the month will cover the 3rd and the 4th week of the lunar month, from the full moon until the next new moon. I think this is logic, first of all, and the second reason why I'm going to do that is that, as you know, I work in 3 languages, in Russian, French, and English, and for me, preparing weekly horoscopes each week in 3 languages is like a triple job. So I will cover in my analysis the entire month, each time of course, but twice per month, and it will allow me to look at free time, space and resources for other videos, because I would like to share with you so many things, talking about planets, aspects, signs and astrological techniques. And for that I need time, Besides my videos, I have my clients, my life, personal life, so I need more free time. So I will continue analyzing the transits, but twice per month, okay? So the second announcement will for sure make pleasure to those who live in Montreal, my clients, and those who don't know me, but who live in Quebec. I will be in Montreal from May 29th until June 29th. I will receive in person, yes, I will give personal consultations, astrology and tarot in person in Montreal during 1 month. The obligatory condition for new clients and for those who already consulted me in the past, with whom we worked already in the past, but for those who did not go through the rectification, and especially for new clients, the obligatory condition is the adjustment of the minute of birth, because without the rectification, without the horoscope rectified, I will not be able to consult, to give my predictions. My sessions will be very serious and complex. This will not be just tarot reading. I'm offering astrological consultations in Montreal. As always, I offer. Tarot cards, French cards, Lenormand, are just an additional tool. So the rectification is obligatory for a separate price. And since I'm changing my website, I will release it very soon in 3 languages. Totally new design, also very rich content. The possibility to exchange with other astrology lovers in the forum. We call it forum in English, right? Starting because of these reasons and this reason, and because of other reasons, starting from the 1st of July, my prices, my rates change. So you have the opportunity from now, between the 15th of May until the end of June, to order any service, to buy as many services as you want, written analysis, predictions, basic reading, astro tarot, to buy credits for any service, even for many services that you're interested in, for the price that exists now. Starting from the 1st of July, the rate change. So contact me if you have any question, and if you want to meet me in Montreal, think about contacting me as soon as possible. Don't wait until the last moment, because if I don't have time, physical possibility to receive people in the end of my stay in Canada, I will not be able to do that. Okay, the last day of consultation is the 29th of June, but I have already bookings, the reservations already done. So think about contacting me if as soon as possible if you are interested in meeting me in person. Now let's get back to our astrological analysis. So I will start with the new moon. New moon in Taurus on the 15th of May, 7:47 a.m. New York time or Montreal time, in the 24th degree of Taurus. This new moon is very specific, very special, very important and strategic. Why? Because this day of the new moon in Taurus plays the role of a threshold separating one great period from another. We don't talk about the separation, the border, the threshold between two lunar months. It's quite a step on the big way, because it coincides with the transit with the ingression of Uranus into Taurus. And the beginning of this new lunar cycle marks the beginning of a new 7-year era, because Uranus stays in one zodiacal sign for 7 years. So this means that now we could experience significant events that will determine new trends for a very long time. I will try to prepare a separate video about the ingression of Uranus and Taurus if I have time before my trip to Montreal. I will comment on it a little bit later in the current video, but I would like to mention the second reason why this upcoming new moon in Taurus is special and extremely important. So the second particularity of this new lunar cycle of this new moon in Taurus is that by forming a square to the point of the eclipse of the Sun in Aquarius that we lived in on February 15th, this new moon, this point of the new moon, the conjunction Sun-Moon in Taurus, closes the corridor of the middle point of eclipses. I spoke about it in my previous video, like 2 weeks and a half ago, when we just started the corridor of the middle point of eclipses. So I'd like to remind you, and maybe it will be some new information for those who watch me for the first time, that we consider that the period of 12 months, so 1 year, contains 4 power points, short periods of time when significant events occur, life pattern change. These points are first of all, pairs of the eclipses, solar and lunar, that occur in the interval of 2 weeks. So 2 pairs of eclipses per year. Sometimes we have 3 eclipses during one season. So 2 eclipses every 6 months. This is the moment of the seasons of the eclipses. I mean, the 2 eclipses and the period of 2 weeks between them, the corridor of eclipses. These are the moments of restart, of renewal. These are strategic moments when we reload the program of our lives, minimum for 6 months or even for 18 years and a half, because the eclipses, the lunar nodes make the turn of the zodiac in 18 years and a half, and the eclipses will be formed in the same degrees of the same signs in 18 years and a half. So the eclipses are the power points of the 1 year period, but also such moon phases as the full moon and the new moon that occur during the corridor of the midpoint of eclipses. The full moon and the new moon that are placed at the equal distance of each eclipse season. So if you talk about 2018, 3 months after winter eclipses and 3 months before the upcoming future summer eclipses. So that means that the full moon in Scorpio on April 29th, which formed squares to the point of the lunar eclipse of January 31st, and the upcoming new moon in Taurus on May 15th, which, as I said, forms square to the point of the solar eclipse of February 15th. These 2 lunar phases revived the subjects of winter eclipses and alluded to the themes of the future summer eclipses. And these 2 weeks that are over were surely a difficult period when the situations, the subjects of the winter eclipses, returned to our lives. They came back to our lives in the form of conflicts, confrontations, and crisis. Now, after this new moon in Taurus, this is over. The tension will come down, will disappear, will dissipate, and we will advance towards the themes of the eclipses of summer 2018. A very interesting and important remark. On June 9th and 18th, the Sun in transit will form trines to the point of the eclipses of winter, and of course it will form sextiles to the points of the eclipses of summer. And these were the moments of the harmonization of the situations corresponding to the themes of the houses of the chart, of your own chart, right, personal chart, that received the projection of the eclipses this winter. That's why this new moon in Taurus has an extreme potential for a great restructuring, after which our reality will change radically and irrevocably. Something will leave our lives forever, and at the same time something new will be born and will begin its existence, will take a new departure. So you see the importance of this new moon, the ingression of the Uranus into Taurus, and the end of the corridor of the middle point of eclipses. Now a couple of words about the ingression of Uranus into the second sign of the zodiac, Taurus. This is for sure the major, very important, the major event in the solar system, the event of the month of May, which for the first time since 2011 will radically change the content of the program of the renewal of the entire humanity. Later this year, at the beginning of November, Uranus will be retrograde, will return for a short time into Aries. So now during its first ingression in Taurus, Uranus is only preparing to carry out the Taurus program. However, the changes in the overall program of the renewal of humanity will become already tangible, but the real change will start happening after its second ingression in Taurus, after the end of its retrograde phase this autumn. So for the past 7 years, Uranus in Aries has been renewing the development strategy of mankind, keeping with the spirit of the new age of Aquarius, because Aries is responsible for the strategy. And now when being in Taurus, Uranus will renew its values and resources, the values and the resources of this program. Novelty, new things will enter not only into the theory but also into the practical side of our lives. The first stage of Aries, which is the first sign of zodiac, is over. The seed of the spirit was planted, and in Taurus, this program of renewal, of this revolution, in Taurus, this program must take root in the material. So the ideas of a new era will begin to enter the real life. But once again, I'll try to prepare, if I have time, a separate video on the subject, on the astrological event. So let's say a couple of words about the general atmosphere of the month, because I didn't talk about the month of May 3 weeks ago. So compared with the previous spring month, the month of May is calmer and more harmonious because of the gradual exit of the Sun and of the personal planets such as Mercury, Venus, and Mars from this parade area or the alignment in the zodiacal sign of the northern hemisphere, from Scorpio to Pisces. Remember that Jupiter is a Scorpio, Mars is still for a while in Capricorn, Pluto and Saturn are in Capricorn, Neptune is in Pisces, so northern hemisphere. So the Sun and other personal planets will start moving to the southern hemisphere, passing by ingressions, changing the signs. The Sun is in Taurus until the 21st of May, and this position will allow us to be just, fair, practical, and persevering. We will have the desire to communicate with the nature, and in relationships stability and reliability will be appreciated. But on the 21st of May, the Sun will pass into the sign of Gemini. Happy birthday to all Gemini. And this transit of the Sun will stimulate us to the building of all possible links and communications that are necessary for the successful implementation of our development program. As a result, in the end of May, contact, studies, travel, new knowledge and new encounters will be activated and will be very important to us. So, as I said, I will not comment on the aspects chronologically, but I will group them. I will talk about each planet. Okay. So, what about the aspect of the Sun on the 24th of May? Sun will be in trine with the Mars, and this aspect will create opportunities for achieving personal will, a manifestation, for the manifestation of the personal will in professional sphere, first of all. This aspect will stimulate the increase of professional activity and will awaken leadership qualities and the ability to manage the team. Therefore, in May, many of us will want to prove themselves as a leader, but in order to get there, to achieve this goal, to show ourselves as leaders, it will be necessary to clearly understand the goals, our own goals, and also common goals, those of the team, so personal and collective goals, and to coordinate them properly. What about our Mercury? Mercury, you remember, it stayed for a long time in Aries because its retrograde phase, retrograde loop, happened in Aries. So on the 13th of May, 2 days before the new moon, Mercury changed the sign, entered Taurus. It will stay in this sign until May 29th. Mercury in Taurus emphasizes practicality and realism in communication. In the second half of the month, our words and our promises will be concrete, weighted, and deepened. It's a good time to conclude financial transactions and sign contracts related to the material fields of life, financial sphere of life. But in the process of learning and education, we will need more time and patience because the sign of Taurus is slow, right? We will guide our mind towards ideas applicable in the material world. And Mercury forms plenty of aspects during these 2 weeks. May 18th, Mercury is in trine with Saturn, so the impact of the aspect is extended to the period of 3 days before, 3 days after the exact aspect. So the trine of Mercury with Saturn on May 18th will strengthen us in the concentration of thought, which is favorable for all who exercise intellectual work, for students, for all those who study. Then its sextile with Neptune on May 23rd will help to fill the conversation with depth, with sensitivity towards the interlocutor. The aspect is also favorable to the literary activity. The influence of Neptune will help to fill the communication and the interaction between people with love, with acceptance of the other person, and with the deep feeling of the other. However, it's necessary to pay attention to the simultaneous opposition of Mercury and Jupiter the same day on May 23rd, which will complicate the presentation and the perception of the information by creating an imbalance between the tendencies to the generalization, Jupiter, and at the same time the tendencies to the detail, which is the mission, the function of Mercury in itself. But the trine between Mercury and Pluto on May 25th will help us to overcome the opposition Mercury-Jupiter, giving energy and persuasion to the reflection and communication. So we have many ingressions during these 2 weeks. Uranus enters Taurus, the Sun enters Gemini, Mercury enters Taurus, Mars changes the sign, Mars enters Aquarius, and Venus also has its ingression. So on May 16th, Mars in Aquarius, it leaves the sign of Capricorn, entering Aquarius, And this position of Mars will stimulate innovation and collective strategy in professional activities, as well as close cooperation between individuals that will try to achieve common goals within any team. We could talk here about a family and a group of people, and also about big companies. By the way, Mars will stay in Aquarius for many months. Actually, it will enter Pisces only in November, because it will have its retrograde phase in this summer. It will come back to Capricorn for a while during its retrograde phase, and it will come back to Aquarius, and then it will leave Aquarius only in November. But, well, the retrograde phase, the retrograde loop of Mars, is of course the subject of another separate video. And actually, on the day of its ingression into Aquarius, Mars forms a square 90 degrees with Uranus, almost at the day of the new moon, the day after the new moon. We will look for new forms of cooperation, especially within a team, but this aspect causes conflicts and provocations. Productive production accidents, especially in the sectors under the governance of Uranus, such as the electrical energy industry or information technologies. Nuclear power plants will be in the risk zone. There may be problems with equipment and computer programs. As I said, Venus also changes the sign. Venus will be in Gemini until May 19th, and this position of the planet will maintain the tendency to do several things at once, but without deepening and without bringing the projects to the end. In personal relationships, it increases the desire to talk, to get new information, to exchange and to learn, to spend time with friends, to flirt. Venus enters the sign of Cancer on May 19th, and it will stay in Cancer until June 13th. Venus in Cancer loves purity in relationships. It aims to found a family, to focus on the birth and the education of children. The relationship with the Venus in Cancer becomes subtle, intuitive, and so to speak, enveloping. Our sensitivity in love will increase. For us, the attention, emotional support, recognition, comfort, our own space, and our home will be particularly important. On May 19th, Venus will be in sextile with Uranus. This aspect will promote the expression of interest for contemporary forms of art. There will be an opportunity to influence the emotional state of other people by our own emotions. So get ready for the love from the first sight. Luck can accompany us in love and creativity, but in feelings we will need to manifest freedom. We will need to be able to manifest freedom, and we will notice the same behavior from our partner. In terms of money, we could have an unusual, unexpected source of income. However, the opposition of Venus to Saturn on May 26 will give a rigidity and this tendency to control in the relationship. The aspect will add a restraint in the manifestation of love and the desire for loyalty in a friendship. But at the same time, the position Venus-Saturn will cause fear of her absence, the fear of the absence of love. The desire to stay away from others and to sacrifice love and feelings in the name of our own ambitions and our own material well-being, if we behave this way during the position Venus-Saturn, will warranty loneliness in the future. Therefore, it's necessary to raise the level of consciousness, to review, to revise our attitude towards love, and to overcome the inferiority and superiority, the both complex, selfishness and inattention towards others. So if we push away our partner down, it will be difficult it will hurt him, and it will be difficult later, maybe even impossible to get back to the relationship. So take care of those who you care about. And the last aspect, May 25th, Jupiter is in trine to Neptune, but I will comment on this aspect in the context of the configuration of the aspect, the big trine, which will be formed in the starting from the 24th of May. It will be active until the end of May, even at the beginning of June, because Venus will be in Cancer, Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, and these three planets will form trines between them. So big trine, a gorgeous configuration of water trine, water trines, big trine in water signs. This is particularly interesting for creative people, first of all, who will have an additional source of inspiration and who will be able to expand their possibilities in the creative process. In addition, the end of month is good for the spiritual quest, for the search of spiritual ways to resolve our personal, terrestrial, concrete, practical problems and issues. There will be an opportunity to learn and to discover and to develop our inner world. In personal relationships, there will be an immersion in the emotional world of the partner, even going up to the dissolution in love. The energies of love will be stronger than ever. So those days we will not be only noticed, but also loved, cherished, and worshipped, which will help us to feel inspired. And as a resume, at the end of the month, it will be good to do charity projects, creative projects, and of course to open ourselves to love. My friends, this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that it was not too heavy, because a lot of information that there are more information that covers 2 weeks than 1 week. So please, those who want to see me in Montreal, don't wait at the last moment. Contact me as soon as possible, because we have to work on the rectification before I come to Montreal. So I wish to all of you happy new moon. Make your projects, visualize your new life. Good luck to all of you, and thank you for your time and for your attention, and I talk to you very, very soon. Goodbye.